Greetings, comrades. This is Andre Aguides Desjardins for a Murders at Kolov Manor Crack-a-Pack. The first play booster that I am cracking on video. The first one, period. Alright. It's all backwards, so I guess we're gonna flip it like this. Haha. On the job, actually, the glare is better this way. That's right, we don't do edits. On the job is 2 colorless, 2 white for an instant. Creature control get +2/+1 until end of turn. Investigate. The heroic charge variant of the set. Investigating's fine, like you're happy with the clue. These cards generally don't play well in limited. This set, I don't think, has a go wide strategy. Like this, I think, is all about the not morphs, cloaked or disguised or whatever creatures. So, like D-. Like, you're probably not playing. If you've never played this card in the set, you're probably right. Next up, Crowd Control Warden. It's a white, a green, 3 colorless for a 4/4. When it enters the battlefield, worst turn face up with X +1/+1 counters on it, where X is the number of other creatures you control. And it disguises for 3 in hybrid white blue white or white green green white. So an important thing to note that because of the disguise of being hybrid, it is mono green or mono white. It's obviously better in a green white deck, but you can play it in your mono green or mono white deck. I find in this format often with the number of disguised creatures. There does get to be a few, so this could be like when you play it a 6/6 or something, but that's still not that impressive. That's like a C-level card. Yeah, so it's like I'll happily play it in those colors. I'm sure it's a fine 5 drops, but 5 drops really aren't where it's at. Next up, we have Macabre Reconstruction. It's a black 3 colors. The spell costs 2 less to cast. If creatures put in your graveyard from the anywhere this turn, return 2 target creature cards from your graveyard to your hand. That's the return 2 creatures. The black draw 2, as I like to call it, because you get to draw 2 spells. Sorcery speed and 4 mana. Sometimes it'll be 2. I don't think that really has much influence on my grading. This is like a D. I don't see a super turbo mill in this format, like in Ixalan or other Caverns of Ixalan or other formats. But hey, sometimes you'll want this. Not looking great so far. All right, next up, Bite Down on Crime. Nice. Green and 3 sorcery is additional cost. The spell you may collect evidence 6 that you can exile cards with CMC 6 or more from your graveyard. The spell costs 2 less to cast if it was collected. Evidence was collected. Target creature control is +2/+2 until end of turn. It deals damage equal to its power. Target creature you don't control. This is a C-level card. Your creature is probably going to kill whatever they have. Sometimes you can collect evidence 6. It'll be cheaper, and you'll get to double spell on turn. Sometimes you won't. That's not really affecting my grade. It's a C. It's what I'm selecting so far, but this pack is not super strong. All right, Projector Inspector. 1 blue, 2 colorless for a 3/2. When it hit or another detective enters the battlefield under your control, whenever detective controls turn face up, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card, so you get to loot. Just on the face, a 3/2, draw a card, discard a card, loot, fine, C, playable. Right now I'm between it and the bite spell. I'll remove those others because I'm not going to even consider them. Alright, Goblin Mask Maker. Look at that fine lad. It's a 1/2 Goblin Citizen for 1. When it attacks face down creatures, it costs 1 less to cast. How I theorize the format's going to play out is 2 drops are important. This can help you play your face-down creature sooner, but it's just a 2/2 Ward 2, which isn't super relevant in limited. But it doesn't really help you turn them face up any faster, which is kind of what you're going in for here. I think this is probably going to be a D. I know we've had a lot of formats where 1-drops have been great, and it's probably playable, but I don't think this is like a one drops are necessary, and it doesn't do the super important part. And yes, if you attack with two of them, they cost two less, or three of them, they cost three less. So I guess you could go like mountain this, another mountain, two of these, and then turn three, play your two drops for your 3 mana things for free. That doesn't seem that great, but it does stack, just so you know. Alright, next up, Undercover Crocodile. Crocodile? Yeah, Undercover. Sure, it doesn't stand out at all. A green, a blue, and 4 for a creature, Elf Crocodile Detective. Fantastic creature type. When it deals combat damage to a player, investigate, and it has Disguise for 5, 3, and then Hybrid. It's a 5/5. This goes into like, you can play, if you need a 6-drop, you will play it. If you don't need a 6-drop, you're not playing it. This is like C-. It's whatever. Alright. Cease and Desist. So Cease is exile 2 target cards from a single graveyard. Target player gains 2 life and draws a card. And then Desist is destroy all artifacts and enchantments. I will play Cease in the deck as like a C- card. It cycles, it gains 2 life. The exile 2 cards from a graveyard probably isn't super relevant. Desist is a fine sideboard card, but I'm not looking to run it main, and I'm not looking to run Cease main. The only reason you might want this is because it adds both mana costs together for the Collect Evidence, so you get to collect Evidence 8 with this thing, basically. Still not super high on the like, I don't think there's a reason. This is like a C-. You can run it just for Cease. Cease is fine, but I'm not looking to play this card. Stinker, Stinker, Stinker. Oh, I'm so rude, I know. Alright, here's a winner. Harrier Dronesmith. 1 red, 3 colorless. Creature Human Artificer. It's a 2/3. At the beginning of combat on your turn, create a 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact creature with flying. It gains haste till end turn. Sacrifice at the beginning of the next end step. This is a lot. There's a lot of red cards that, or not a lot, but there's red cards that care about sacrificing artifacts and can just do a lot with this drone token. The fact the drone is a 1/1 flying with haste, like, gives you some attacker. I think this is a very strong card. I think this is like a B- in this format. It's not a B- in every deck. There's the red-blue artifact deck, which it's very good in. And then if you have any of the red X cards that care about sacrificing artifacts, very good. I'm first picking this over any of the other cards right now. I think this is a 4-drop I'm going to be happy to play in Limited. And most times I've played it, my opponent has groaned and eventually pointed a removal spell at it, and I got to keep a bigger thing. So yes, B- for that. Next, we have Case of the Gorgon's Kiss. When this case enters the battlefield, destroy target creature that was dealt damage this turn. And to solve it, 3 or more creatures were put from the graveyard from anywhere this turn. And you solve it at the end of your end step. And if it's solved, it's a 4/4 creature with Death Touch and Lifelink in addition to its other types. I don't think the enter the battlefield thing is that good. They've seen play in limited formats. I think they actually mostly drew a card. And to solve this is a lot. There's not if there was a strong self-mill theme, I'd be like, cool, this is good. It's gonna be hard. Obviously, you can like kind of set up some games where like you can attack with 2, and you know you'll trade one with theirs, and the other will chump. Then this will finish it up, and you'll be left with 4/4. But that doesn't happen as often as people think it does. So this is like, I started as a D+. Maybe it'll be better, but like, I'm not looking to play this card. The setup cost to make it the 4/4 Death Touch or Death Touch Lifelink is a lot, and just the front doesn't do enough on its own. All right, Lash Portugal, whatever it is. It's a land, Forest Plains. When it enters the battlefield, tap. When it enters the battlefield, surveil 1. These are like C+ level cards. You're not really I don't think you're doing anything super special with fetching them in this format. The Surveil's relevant. Like these, I think are fine cards. I don't know even how good they are in Commander, but like this is a C+. If I was in either of these colors, like for sure, I would take this land. Because in Limited, the Surveil is certainly a lot better than in like Commander or something. But I'm still on the Demolish guy. All right, Kranko, Baron of Tin Street. 1 red, 2 colorless for a 3/3. So I'm already happier than War of the Spark Kranko, but not as happy as the Corset Kranko. Legendary creature, Goblin, Haste. Sacrifice +1, sacrifice an artifact, put a +1/+1 counter on each goblin you control. So he works very well with the Demosmith there. You don't even need a bunch of goblins. Like, I'm not running that 1/2 for 1 because I have Kranko and some artifacts just to get value. Like, it's fine just for him to get a counter. Whenever an artifact's put in the grave from the battlefield, you may pay 1. If you do create a 1/1 red goblin creature token, it gains haste till end of turn. There you go. Certainly don't need to run other goblins. I'm taking this ban. I doubt the Drone Smith is going to table, but just 3 free for 3. Like, everything about this main is great. Kranko, you are one cool dude. I still think I like the M-set Kranko more, though. But you are one cool dude, Kranko. Alright, we got a foil. Hazard Vigilante. When it enters the battlefield or attacks, put +1/+1 counter on target creature control with power 2 or less. 4/4 for 5. There is a creature power 2 or less theme in the set. I played it at my pre-release. It worked fine. I actually had this guy and didn't put him in my pool. Just with, like, the disguise, you seem to have infinite things to do with your mana. And on that note, lands, or hands that I kept that only had 2 lands, made me feel very bad. Even if I had 2 drops and could do things, I really wanted to, like, put disguised creatures down. Back to the Vigilante, I think he's like a D. Like, if you're in a deck and you need a 5-drop, he's fine, but 5-drops are just so replaceable. And we got an island, and we got a detective token. So I think Kranko is what I'm taking. If Kranko wasn't in the pack, it'd be the Demosmith. And then the 2 commons were really rather unimpressive. So we're actually just going to finish the shot with these 2 BFFs. Oh my god, they love each other so much. Alright, and that was it. This is Andre Aguides Desjardins signing off.